Hey guys, just a little bench talk fix-it video. Kill some time with you guys. So if you don't remember, or if you didn't see the video, had a pretty good crash with the old, there's all kinds of bad stuff happening. Had a good crash with the old TRX6 and I snapped a bunch of stuff in the front axle. So, yeah. I got a bag of parts that should be able to get it all. So the axle, it's so hard. It's dark in here, so it's always hard to put the camera in. So I'm just going to try. Well, here, I'll use the bag of parts to explain. Let's see what comes out. These damn things, I had to buy a full set of wheel wells for this stupid thing because of the panhard mount. I'm struggling already. The panhard mount was attached to the wheel well, so I have to replace the whole wheel well, so that's fun. Oh yeah, I forgot I put some mail in there. Alright, let's see what else we got here. Oh yeah, the knuckles, I broke a knuckle, not surprising on that one. And then this little bastard, one of them. So I broke that shaft that goes out to the portal, and yeah, that little bastard's 15 bucks. Set of knuckles was $7. The wheel wells, 26 bucks. So yeah, let me get this thing apart, and I'll get all the broken stuff off, and I'll let you guys know what's going on. Yeah, I changed my mind. I'd rather babble while I do this. So if you watched the last video, I said the Bronco's cursed. So I had 3 different grub screws back out, which I all blame Loctite for. The slipper itself, which I usually never run slippers, but I had to change it over to a slipper thing by tightening the crap out of it. And then the pad was so old, it just kind of disintegrated. So I had to put some gum in there. Good old butyl gasket. Oh, I'm dropping parts. Oh, washers. So yeah. And then I also... It has king shocks on it, which weren't my choice, but that's what came on it. I'm probably going to end up changing those out now. But they keep falling apart. And it's not so much they usually unthread. I got that all fixed up, so it won't do that anymore. Get off there. Come on, you. That was on there pretty good. That shouldn't happen anymore. Sorry, my train of thought goes all over the place when I do this kind of stuff, because because I'll start talking, and you guys know me. If you've seen any of my bench talks before, I'll wander. I'll start one sentence and then finish another one, just because my brain is all over the place. You know, with these Traxxas ones, that's easy to spin when it's not attached to anything. These Traxxas ones, they have that pin that goes through the hex, which is nice that it doesn't come apart on you or want to fall off when you take the tire off. Slows you down a bit though. Oh, that's part of that guy. Yeah, trying to keep all the parts separate. Alright, what else do I gotta do? Can I get that shaft out of there? No, I gotta pull that knuckle off first. Broken stuff, broken stuff. So I love the little Ryobi. I have to buy some new 2mm soon. You file them down when the ends get rounded. I don't know if you guys can see that or not. You file them down after the ends get rounded, and then you it gets shorter, but you get back to the fat stuff. But I can only grind that one down a couple more times before it's no good no more. Give me that sleeve. Got to keep an eye on those little sleeves at the top and bottom of the knuckle. There's a little sleeve, little cylinder that goes on it. That's kind of like a little bushing for you. Got to keep an eye on those guys. There's other parts in there too in that bag. Interesting. Oh, and there's this. I forgot about this. Hi, Molly. Whack. Come here, jump up. Oh. Here's the attention seeker. Get a little bit of loving real quick. I'll put you back down. Because you're driving me nuts. Yeah, you drive me nuts. You're a big baby. You're a big baby. Rough life on this one, eh? Okay, here you go. She never wants to get down, just kind of slides down. I know, I love you too. Okay, get over here. Stop it. Okay. You're distracting me. Stop it. Okay, I gotta get this wheel well out of there. That won't come off till that comes off, and blah blah blah, and the batteries, or not the battery, the body's gotta come off. A lot of guys, when they're doing this, they use like a chunk of an egg crate or something to organize their screws. I'm fairly decent at remembering where stuff goes. Fairly decent. But luckily I got a crazy amount of screws left over from things over the past. Plus I have the manual, so if I have to, I will look at a manual to find out what screw goes where. But I just kind of put them on the bench in the order that I take them off, and things usually go back together the same way. This thing needs a good cleaning too. The last time it ran, I think I started that story already. The last time it ran, I was out with Brad, and I have to remove the light kit too. Jeez, I forgot about that. What else has got to come off? So much stuff has to come off when you do this. Shock. Oh, just had a bit of a coughing fit there, excuse me. I've started 2 or 3 different sentences and stories now already this morning that I can think of. To finish the Bronco story off, this is going to be a nightmare to edit just because of who I am. Or how I am, however you want to say it. Come out of there! What else am I missing? Oh yeah, it's attached to that. Jeez. Didn't even notice. It's got... Oh, and those are 2.5s. It's got 2 more screws that go across for that battery plate for competitions. So they say. At the front. But yeah, the multiple stories I started this morning. Let's see, the Bronco... the Bronco broke a couple times. All that stuff let go. And then also on that King shock. They usually unthread. I got that all Loctited up, so that doesn't happen to me anymore. But it, do a lot of jumping and bouncing around. Every now and then you lose the cup off the bottom of the shock, so the spring is no longer in place, the spring retainer, or whatever you want to call it. Body post. Yeah, this is going to be terrible to edit. I'm all over the map. And no, I haven't been drinking. Maybe that's the problem. Haven't smoked yet, because I did hours ago. It's about 10 or 11 in the morning now. Been up since about... Ooh, I gotta remember these. Shock, top of... Yeah, stick that with that, because that's the top of that guy. Alright, finally got that out of there. This wheel well is actually the one that's okay. The panhard mount is on the other wheel well, well, that wheel well. So I have to remove that wheel well as well. A lot of wells going on. Oh, well. Okay, there's the shaft. So, let's see here. If you guys can get a look at that. That's where the shaft snapped at the end. Right where the ball goes. Garbage. The other half is still in the knuckle. Does that come out easily? Trunks are coming out. Oh, truck. Well, I gotta take those 3 little screws out. Yeah, there's a lot going on in this guy. Let's see what else did I start telling I haven't finished yet. I think I'm done talking about the Bronco. I'm gonna change the shocks out on it so I don't have that issue again. Because King shocks aren't terrible, they're just more problematic than other shocks. For me anyways, it depends on how you drive, I guess. I find I do set them up properly because I Loctite them in places where they should be Loctite, but maybe my preload wasn't enough. Maybe you guys might say that's why I keep losing cups. But I like my shocks how I like my shocks, and I don't have that issue with Traxxas or axial shocks, so I'll probably stick with them. And yes, it's true. Axial shocks don't like holding fluid. They're against that for some reason. Yeah, again, I'm thinking to myself, man, it's going to suck to edit later. But I'm hopefully going out later today. I talked to Recovery Mike yesterday. He said he should have time today, so I'm hoping that remains true. Because it's supposed to be like 13 degrees Celsius here today, which is pretty warm for this time of year. I'm looking forward to that. Might get this guy out. Depends on where Mike wants to go. Get that out of there. No chunks will go in there. I keep getting dog hair in my eye. Surprise, surprise. Oh, it comes that way. Ah, I'm trying to push it the wrong direction. Because I'm smart. Okay. Yeah, so the bearing retains. The bearing acts as a retaining ring as well for this assembly. So it's nice this part isn't broken. Get that not out of there. So I guess I have an extra pin and barrel. So those will be slightly worn out. Oh, there's still more chunks in there. There it is. Or chunk. There's one more chunk. A broken part. So some of the common questions I get is, I just got an RC, what motor should I get? Borderline impossible to answer. Like, I could answer it for everybody with Mamba Monster X, 2200 kV or 2250 or 2270, whatever their goofy number is, censored system, and Bob's your uncle. But there could be hundreds of you who scream Hobby Wing Fusion in the comments, which, great combo. I've driven it. I find it is a good system, and you get great value for the price, but I don't find there's as much low-end torque as there is on the Mamba. Just more control, more power, but you get what you pay for, because the Mamba's a pretty expensive system. But when guys are choosing what system to put into their vehicle, I can't choose that for you. The best thing to do is to do your research about, first research yourself. Where am I going to drive this, and how am I going to drive it? How am I going to treat this truck? I think that's number one. Your driving style, water, rock crawling, are you a basher, are you a crawler? All those things come into play, right? Now the C-hub, or the knuckle, sorry, is screwed directly to the end of the axle with 3 more screws. So, man, I don't know what I'm at so far. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. 17 screws to change out the knuckle. Yeah, that's for those 3 little pieces. There's that guy. Yep. There she snapped off at the bottom. I don't know if you guys have had cylinder breakage, but yeah. That's that guy. Just make sure there's no more attached parts that I need. Well, I've said this before and I'll say it again. I don't always recommend using a tool, like an electric tool. But once you get the feel of the tool, yeah, go nuts. You shouldn't be stripping out plastic, but there's certain little things here and there that I get nervous on, because if you strip that screw, man, there's some stuff you don't want to change out. Speaking of which, I know you guys can't see this, but I kind of feel like my talking and the entertainment value of that is what mainly people watch these for. But yeah, changing out the knuckle on a track just kind of bites, because if they had a hole in the top, that's what I was mentioning a moment ago, I kind of want to drill this out, but nah. Maybe I will. Sounding pretty lazy for not doing it. So these 3 little screws, they just hold over top of the bearing, and that's what holds the axle shaft and that gear on the end in place. That bearing does a lot. It's probably why it's so big. It's not only is it the retainer for the pin over the barrel, but it also holds the axle shaft in place. Okay, I'm going to take a little break from the camera and do some work. Alright, plugging along. I got the knuckle's been replaced now completely. The shaft is in there. Had to remove the steering linkage in order to get the portal and the shaft to go back in there. There seems to be a lot going on, but man, I can't knock a Traxxas TRX series, anything. The TRX4, the 6, the Sport, you name it. They're built really well, super tough. The mod that I'm doing right now, the reason why I turned the camera back on, is I think an fairly important one for do if you plan on hanging on to your Traxxas for a bit. There's some new screws. I'm not sure what those. Oh, we get a new plate and a cross member too. More parts. I got spare parts. Okay, so there's the other side. That's going to be the front. What do they call that? Front, left front. There's the left front one. Oh, that light's flickering. Let me hit it. Like new. There's the left front one, and it's got that. There's your mount for your panhard bar. And this is the one for this side on the right front. There's the hole I just drilled. Goes right in halfway between the shock tower and where the light kit goes in. I'm going to do the same thing on this side. And you always want to do it to the back one. So right in behind the shock post is where you want to put her. No problem there for the mighty Bosch. And every place I've worked at for most of my life, I've sold Milwaukee tools. But I got that just because my buddy was selling it and I needed it, so on it went. So that's for that side. That's going to get over there eventually. But now I got those two holes in there. And the reason being is once you get the wheel well back on there, which is the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 screws, I think, maybe 7 if you include the shock itself, to get that wheel well out in order to change the knuckle, or if you have to pull the knuckle for any reason, work on the front axle. You don't have to pull the wheel well after you do that, because then you can get a tool in there and get down to the knuckle without having to fight with it. So I think that's a good little cheat for you guys. I'm going to get back to work here and get that assembly, and then get the other side on and we'll do a quick test. Alright, plug it away. The other side is almost done. I just noticed I didn't put the light kit back in yet. Yeah, I'll just take this one and put it over there. I like my center caps. And when you first start getting into RC, man, I'm telling you, proper tools are huge. Oh, that's in there tight. There she goes. Right, get out there. Muddy. Yeah, last place out when I wrecked this thing, I took a jump real bad. Maybe I started that story and didn't finish it either. I was out with Brad down at what we affectionately call the snake pit. I've never seen a snake there, but Brad says he sees them all the time. And I am scared shitless of snakes, and most reptiles, I think. Remember one time, buddy I don't hang out with anymore, he moved away. Jerry, great guy, Newfie. He liked lizards. Big iguana, 3-4 foot long, huge, a monster, a dinosaur really. Brings it out one day and asks me if I want to feed it. Fuck no! And I was out of there. See ya, buddy. Never went back. I don't think I ever went back to his house. Of course we still hung out. I won't hang out with no lizard. Get the shock in place. Now there's a long part, there's a barrel that goes through the top of the shock. I'm not sure, as many of you guys know, my terminology isn't always the best for stuff. I kind of make stuff up as I go sometimes too. But there's a sleeve, if you will, that goes through the top of the shock and then goes through the top of the fender well. And if you don't know which way it goes, you always check your manual or look at it before you change it, or look at the other side. But the fatter part goes to the back. Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's a "that's what she said" joke in there, and I'm unsure. So I better say it. That's what she said. Panhard bar with the broken part. guy out of there. You know what? I think I'm gonna need a ball end. That's another one of those things where the quality set of tools is really a necessity. So I think I keep my ball ends on this. I do, thankfully. The ball's too big. We're almost done. Everything looks right. Light kit. Oh yeah, new fender. I'm like, why are those holes plugged? New fender. Where's my 2.0? My 2.0, my 2.0. Light kit's in, wheels are on. Need a battery. Not that one. That was a spare for Brad yesterday in case he needed it. Controller. It's alive! Yeah, so that's about it. That guy's all fixed up. I hope you guys found it slightly entertaining and slightly educational. I think the biggest tip is going to be those holes in the top. If you guys do this... Did I put that one in the wrong spot? I did! I should have put that at the back. Oh well, that might help. Maybe not. I'm going to have to put another hole in the back because I put the one on the left side in the wrong spot. Ah well. Should have been towards the back of the fender, not the front. My fault. Of course, I drilled the hole. But yeah, everything's working. I don't blame the truck on that one. If you guys saw the video when I was down at hanging out with Brad, I took this thing off a bad jump and landed it really poorly. But everything's back together now. She's good to go. Might be the next truck out. Alright. Thanks for watching. Thanks for hitting the comments. Thanks for hitting the thumbs up. And thanks for the few guys who still hit that thank you button. Super appreciated. I hope you guys have a great day. Oh, and to all those guys who wish me happy gobble gobble, remember, I'm in Canada, so that was a month ago, but thanks for the thought.